A jest światło, bo jeszcze jest, jeszcze się tutaj.
I think this is time to start the third part. So I'm going to ask Małgosia. No? Ah, Piotr.
I'll ask Piotr, yes, our deputy director.
Musisz się ubrać tutaj w mikrofon, smocz. Wpiąć sobie. Tutaj ją będę wysyłać.
Tak?
Tutaj tam wpiąć albo schować do kieszeni.
I to jeszcze to.
Co?
Hello everybody. My name is Piotr Szmytkiewicz. I work at Institute of Hydroengineering of Polish Academy of Science, and I would like to provide you some basic information about our institute and what we are planning to do during this amazing project. But first of all, I would like to join to Paweł applause, and I would like to say, Magdo, we all very thank you. I mean, without your hard working, this project will not be open. Thank you very much. Okay, in general, Institute of Hydroengineering was established in 1953. That time, Poland had to build a lot of different structures. I'm thinking about power plants, dams on river, or even new ports. And for the needs of design process or construction work, institute was opened. So our role was to provide research due to the analyzing coastal offshore phenomena in general. Institute belongs to Polish Academy of Science. I'm not sure if you are familiar with this institution. In Polish condition, Polish Academy of Science consists of 69 different institutes, and we are one of them. Taking into account formal structures of science, I can say, or I would say, we are in general civil engineers. Currently, we are mainly focused our activities in three different areas. First is fundamental science. Secondly is, let's say, engineering or commercial projects, and list of EU projects. Formally, we are divided on three different departments. Department of Wave Mechanics, Department of Coastal Engineering, and Department of Geomechanics. But I think in regards to this project, and when we are thinking and when we are talking about fundamental research, I think the most important area of our investigation or our analysis lie on analysis of hydrodynamics, lithodynamics, of coastal dynamics in coastal zone. Secondly, what is the most important in our case in this project is wave mechanics. I'm thinking mainly about run-up processes or dune erosion processes, all of these phenomena which could be found on coastal zone. In regards to our commercial activities, as I said, 8 years ago, we were involved in all kind of big invests at that time. Currently, the situation is almost the same. I mean, we are involved in all kind of the biggest coastal or offshore engineering projects in Poland, and it is a very important branch of our activity. However, I would like to highlight that for our needs, the most important, and we can discuss this, is fundamental research. When we are talking about commercial engineering projects, we are involved, for example, for nuclear power plant investigation or construction or any new ports or breakwaters. Or I can say that we are involved in almost all projects related to coastal protection in South Baltic Sea in Poland. Okay, the last part of our activities belongs to EU projects. We are involved in several, let's say. Most of them are soft, or we are providing some recommendation or good practice and so on. But what is the most important for us is to catch the project where we can provide some science, let's say, or some research. And fortunately, we have this kind of activities, this kind of projects. We are not huge institute. Now we have 48 employees. It is our staff. For the needs of this project, regarding our work package, we will be mainly responsible for connection, what was said during a first speech, interaction between waves, transformation of waves, generation of currents, run-up process, and dune erosion. And due to that, we'll use 3 different approaches. So firstly, we'll provide numerical modeling of hydrodynamic, lithodynamic processes occurring in coastal zone. Then dune stability experiments will be conducted. 2 years ago, we built a quite fancy facility. In our laboratory, we can measure dune erosion in 1-to-1 scale. So we hope it will be very important or very nice for this project. And finally, we will also be responsible for measurements, and I hope numerical modeling of aeolian transport on our sites. I would like to say that Małgorzata is a project manager of our team, and Małgorzata, can you please stand up? It's Małgorzata. Please ask any question to Małgosia. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Piotr. As I said, we're going to hear about the tasks themselves tomorrow. And now we're going to go to the UCC, as I remember correctly.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Magda. So I'm Nadine Steibel. I'm chairwoman of EUCC, the Coastal Union Germany. And I would like to present a bit of our background and then our team and what we want to do in the project. So who are we? EUCC is a non-profit organization, NGO, based in Warnemünde in Rostock, close to the Baltic Sea coast. As you can see on the picture on the right-hand side, this is Warnemünde beach. A typical German beach. I think it's quite wide and bright, and we have a lot of tourism there and artificial dunes due to coastal protection. EUCC was founded in 2002 as a German branch of the Coastal and Marine Union, They are located in the Netherlands, and that is the largest European network on coastal zone management. And last year they had their 35th birthday celebration. We are a neutral cooperation partner in Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania, and our main aim is always to promote sustainable development of coasts and sea. Based on EU projects, on national programs, and also on local initiatives, we try to bring stakeholders together. That is our main target. So we build networks based on mapping stakeholders, we bring them together, we bring knowledge to them, make them aware. And we also do a lot of pilot studies to get new research results, but we also bring newest research results from other institutions together to be able to present the best information to our stakeholders and to make them aware about problems and issues, and of course to enable them to take decisions for more sustainable solutions. And we base that on social, economic and environmental aspects, and we work together with public authorities, local businesses, scientists, nature conservation organizations or other associations, and of course with the public. As I said, information gathering and knowledge collection, that is our basis to have the best best basis for decision making. So we produce a lot of information, and also we transfer the knowledge via magazines and publications. So we have series for research publications. EUCC International is publisher of the Journal of Coastal Conservation, for example. We do a lot of communication material for public authorities and also for the public itself. So you can see here the Meer and Küste magazine, for example. That is for our coastal residents and for tourists, so that when you come to Warnemünde, for example, hopefully soon, then you will find our magazines there in museums, but also in the tourist office. And this is a way to give normal people, public people, the newest scientific research, but in an easy, understandable way. And then we have Coastal and Marine. That is a European-based magazine for stakeholders and experts. So that is published by us together with EUCC International. We are also active in platforms, for information platforms. So we have information platforms on marine litter, for example, and we do also produce research and newest knowledge via our coastal newsletter every second month. And we are also part of different networks. So we host the beach rec network, European-wide beach rec network, for example, but also the beach and dune network that is done by our EUCC member, Maike Isermann. So the umbrella for our activities is always integrated coastal zone management, as you can see. And then we have 4 specific strategic topics we are working with at the moment. So that is biodiversity, blue bioeconomy, climate change adaptation, and marine pollution. And in all these fields, we try to bring stakeholders together, to engage them, to make them aware via information and public relations. And we do also a lot of activities in the field of education for sustainable development. When it comes to beach and coastal management, we have a quite long history or quite long list of projects we have done already. So for example, we started in 2012 on marine litter, and had several German projects on that. Building with nature is a big topic to us, so we are active at the moment on seagrass restoration. So we built seagrass meadows together with research organizations. We had projects on beach wreck recycling and also on floating wetlands. Coastal protection is also important. We work closely together with state and regional authorities for coastal protection, for example, in our project Go Coast. And as I have shown, tourism is most important to our area, so coastal tourism is also quite important to our projects. So we do, for example, Beach SOS, that comes to climate change adaptation on coastal used beaches. In the field of education for sustainable development, it's important to know that we are a place for voluntary service. So young people directly after school come to us for a year doing their voluntary service with us. We also implement and guide voluntary community-oriented activities. For example, we do a lot of cleanups, marine litter cleanups. And we also develop, together with the youth hostel organization in the north of Germany, class trip programs so that young people can go into the field and learn about the coastal issues and how to change their behavior. A success story is also the beach school days. We organize together with our tourist office in Rostock-Warnemünde, so kids from grade 4 can come to the beach and learn about coastal issues and what we can change. And of course that is dealing then with the sustainable development goals of the UN. We are also active in developing exhibitions, so touring exhibitions. So we had one, or we have one on marine litter that was produced in the FP7 project Malisco more than 10 years ago. And this exhibition is still touring through Germany, so more than 10 years now, unfortunately, I would say. Because this is a topic, it's still important. And we are also working on a touring exhibition on offshore produced green hydrogen. So, our involved staff members in this great project will be Jane Hofmann and Franziska Stoll. So Jane Hofmann has a background in ocean science and hydrography, and Franziska in marine biology, and they will be active in the environmental management and evaluation part. And me, with a background in marine biology and science journalism, will be responsible for communication, education, and volunteering. And of course, we are much more than that, and I think more of us three will be involved in project activities as well, and a lot of volunteers. So when it comes to the project activities, we want to do a state of play assessment of dune management and monitoring. So we want to map first the governance structure and the stakeholders that are necessary to identify local information and data sources relevant to dune types and protection levels, and of course to improve the biodiversity. We want to do a lot of stakeholder workshops for transferring knowledge and building commitment and ownership. So that is connected then with interviews and podcasts, for example, and also with acceptance studies, I mean social acceptance studies. And we also want to strengthen the cooperation and exchange of best practices around the Baltic Sea, but also beyond, by involving different networks and to bring in our project knowledge into those networks and learn from the others. So, for example, with the EUCC Dune network. Our focus is, of course, on Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania, so we want to do also a kind of case study there. and with a focus on man-made dunes in comparison to natural dunes, because I think that's quite important to people to know that there are differences, and also ways to protect those dunes, and also to improve maybe the ecosystem services of man-made dunes. We will do a lot of public awareness raising events and participation events for different target and age groups. This could include open days, community-based action, I mean also citizen science. We want to do a photo competition, for example, and want to go to the maritime days and to inform not only our stakeholders and community in Germany, so I mean also in the other countries and beyond. And we also plan to develop a virtual dune exhibition, and also educational materials targeting youth and school groups. And then, of course, we have a pilot area in Germany where we want to be active with many students, volunteers. And that is coordinated by our associated partner, the Hittenseer Dünenheide. It's an NGO, and the purpose of this association is to support the maintenance and preservation of the Hiddensee Dune Heath. And that is run by Irmgard Blindo and Sven Dahlke. And so they organize regularly volunteer weekends, and the major aim is to remove shrubs, and in this case it's the Prunus serotina is the most nasty species there, and that has to be removed, including the roots. And so that is planned in the project several times, and then there is a great and close cooperation with the University of Greifswald, with Andrei Maleshev, and with his scientific results, but also from all the others included in the project, we hope to improve future management measures of this Hiddensee pilot. And I would like to mention that we have also a German funding organization. It's the Norddeutsche Stiftung für Umwelt und Entwicklung. So thank you for that, and also for the EU money. And last but not least, I would like to say thank you, Magda, for this chance to be part of this great project and of the new family. And I'm really looking forward to cooperate. Thank you.
So as you see, LIFE projects are very, concern major conservation actions, but also education, research, knowledge, everything together. Yeah, and I remember visiting Germany. Are there any questions for Nadine, or maybe for Piotr or Małgosia, because I missed to ask? I think everyone's getting a bit tired now. It's late, I know. Hold on. Okay, thank you, Nadine, then. I'm going to ask Kasia now. Kasiu, I think this is your turn.
Two Kasias here. Please meet the Kasia, our translator. Okay, I can start now. I will be speaking Polish, okay? It's more comfortable for me, and please translate, Kasia. Reprezentuję Pomorski Zespół Parków Krajobrazowych. Chciałabym Państwu powiedzieć kilka słów na temat naszej instytucji.
I'm representing Pomeranian Landscape Parks Complex, and I would like to say a couple of words about our institution.
Nasz park powstał z połączenia 7 parków krajobrazowych w 2010 roku.
It was created in 2010 and it was a merger of 7 landscapes parks.
Tutaj widzą Państwo ich nazwy. Szybko powtórzę. Słupia Valley Landscape Park, Trójmiejski Landscape Park, Kaszubski Landscape Park, Zaborski Awdycki Landscape Park.
You can see their names here. I can tell you very quickly. Słupia Valley Landscape Park, Trójmiejski Landscape Park, Kaszubski Landscape Park, Zaborski Landscape Park and Awdycki Landscape Park.
I 2 jeszcze z nich, które biorą udział w tym projekcie właśnie, to jest Nadmorski Park Krajobrazowy i Park Krajobrazowy Mierzeja Wiślana.
And 2 other parks that are participating in this project, Nadmorski Landscape Park and Vistula State Landscape Park.
W naszej działalności nie należy zapominać również o szkołach edukacyjnych, tak się nazywają.
In things we are doing, you cannot forget about schools that we take part in. You can see their names here.
I widzą Państwo, gdzie leżą nasze parki krajobrazowe. Na ich terenie właśnie będzie się działo.
And you can see where our landscape parks are located, and that's where things are going to happen.
Kilka słów o samych parkach.
A little bit about landscape parks themselves.
Nadmorski Park Krajobrazowy powstał w 1978 roku.
Nadmorski Landscape Park was established in 1978.
I jak widzą Państwo, prawie 11,5 tysiąca hektara leży na terenie Zatoki Puckiej.
And as you can see, almost 11.5 hectares is located in the Bay of Puck.
Oba parki krajobrazowe posiadają również otulinę, czyli strefę buforową,
Both parks, they have a buffer zone as well.
która ma zabezpieczać przed antropopresją.
And it is supposed to protect against
Anthropopression. I tutaj widzą Państwo, na terenie Nadmorskiego Parku Krajobrazowego znajduje się 10 przybrzeżnych siedlisk przyrodniczych.
And as you can see, in Nadmorski Landscape Park we have 10 coastal habitats.
4 z nich na fioletowo są przedmiotem projektu.
4 of them that are in purple, they are part of the project.
I oczywiście fotografie, żeby Państwu przybliżyć nasz park.
And of course some pictures to show your parks a little bit closer.
Teraz kilka słów o parku Mierzeja Wiślana.
And now a couple of words about the Vistula Spit Landscape Park.
Park Mierzeja Wiślana powstał później, w 1985 roku.
It was established later in 1985,
Jest nieco mniejszy,
and it's a little bit smaller,
ale wcale nie gorszy.
but it's not worse.
Jak widzą Państwo, ma ogromną otulinę.
And as you can see, it has a huge buffer zone,
Prawie 5-krotnie większą niż sama powierzchnia parku.
almost 5 times bigger than park's area itself.
I na terenie tego parku przedmiotem naszego projektu LIFEforDunes będą 3 siedliska przyrodnicze.
And in this park, our project is going to focus on 3 habitats.
I oczywiście fotografie.
And of course some pictures.
Nasze doświadczenie do tej pory. Tu będzie tylko kilka przykładów.
Our experience till now, there are going to be only a little bit of examples.
Jako parki krajobrazowe od ponad 15 lat zajmujemy się w zespole parków edukacją.
As landscape parks, we take part in educating programs for 15 years.
Oba parki posiadają zarówno sale edukacyjne, jak i prowadzą edukację w terenie.
Both parks, they have educational rooms and also they educate people outside of the park.
I w jakich projektach braliśmy do tej pory udział, które pomogą nam w realizacji również tego projektu.
And now what kind of projects we took part in till now that will help us to take part in project that we are talking about?
Jeden z nich dotyczył ochrony raka szlachetnego i w ramach tego projektu prowadziliśmy szeroką edukację.
One of them, it was focused on crayfish, and in this project, we are focused on education.
Kolejny, który jest prowadzony cyklicznie co roku przez cały zespół parków krajobrazowych, to edukacja.
And the other one that is annual, and it is done with all Pomeranian landscape parks, and it's focused on education.
Jest to edukacja przyrodnicza dzieci od przedszkola po osoby dorosłe i rodziny.
And it's environmental education that starts with kids in kindergarten, and it goes through to adults and families.
Co będziemy robić w projekcie jako zespół parków?
And what are we going to do in the project?
Razem z kolejnym partnerem, który będzie za chwilę, czyli Słowińskim Parkiem Narodowym, będziemy pracować przy pakiecie 4.
Together with the other national park, Słowiński Park, who is going to present right after, we are going to work on work package 4.
I naszymi działaniami obejmiemy bardzo szeroką grupę osób, na których za chwilę się skupię.
And we are going to provide for a whole range of people that we are going to talk about in a second.
Tu widzą Państwo niektóre z zadań, właściwie wszystkie, przepraszam, wymienione.
You can see all of the tasks.
Będziemy tworzyć podcasty. Jest to seria podcastów przez cały okres trwania projektu.
We are going to make podcasts. It's a series of podcasts that are going to be made during the whole project time.
Wspólnie ze wszystkimi partnerami i z Uniwersytetem Gdańskim w podcastach będziemy mówić o projekcie, ale również o naszych do tej pory doświadczeniach, zagrożeniach dla wydm i przemycać edukację.
Together with all the partners, but also with the University of Gdańsk, we are going to talk about our experience. We are going to talk about the project itself, but we are also going to educate people as well, give them knowledge.
Kolejnym zadaniem jest również cykliczny udział w corocznych działaniach, które będziemy wspólnie z partnerami prowadzić i uczestniczyć w tych wszystkich wydarzeniach, które Państwo mają wymienione.
And the other task is our events that we are going to organize and take part in, and you can see the name of those events.
Inne z działań to są warsztaty edukacyjne, do których najpierw musimy się przygotować.
Other task, educational workshops that first we need to prepare for.
Będzie to polegało na przygotowaniu questów, scenariuszy do zajęć, które będą następnie prowadzone.
It's going to be focused on preparing question lessons plans for the educational lessons that are going to be done later on.
Do tego oczywiście potrzebujemy zachęcaczy dla dzieci, dla turystów, dla których będą prowadzone działania.
And of course we need some things that are going to encourage our people like kids and also tourists that we are going to do our.
Czyli przygotujemy materiały edukacyjne i miejsce, w którym będziemy prowadzić nasze działania, czyli makietę, model wydmy, namiot i zabawki dla dzieci.
And we are going to prepare the place, we are going to prepare the materials, we are going to prepare some maps and some tent with different toys for the kids.
Naszą ważną działalnością w tej edukacji w projekcie będzie również wykład i pogadanki z osobami dorosłymi, które również chcemy włączyć do projektu. Na początku tu Peter mówił o tym, że jest to bardzo ważne, żeby się dzielić też wiedzą.
And in this part, we are going to talk with adults as well, and we are going to discuss different things with them. And like Paul said, it is important to share our knowledge with people as well.
Dlatego skupimy się w naszej działalności edukacyjnej, żeby być w miejscach, w których są turyści, w których jest najwięcej osób w ciągu sezonu.
So we are going to focus on places where there are the most tourists during the season.
Tam będziemy prowadzić warsztaty,
That's where we are going to help workshops.
ale również chcemy włączyć do tego osoby odpowiedzialne za ochronę wydm i zadbanie o ich stan.
But also we want to include people who are responsible for managing dunes and for protecting them.
Dlatego będziemy rozmawiać również z władzami samorządowymi i osobami, które są tam na miejscu i mieszkają.
That's why we are going to talk to local governments and also residents, people who actually live there.
Ostatnim zadaniem było takie, nad którym się długo zastanawialiśmy.
The last task is the one that we thought the longest about.
Może się wydawać trochę kontrowersyjne,
It might be a little bit controversial.
natomiast uważamy, patrząc też na przykład, który pokazała dzisiaj Magda,
But we think that looking also at the example that Magda showed today,
Chcemy pokazywać dobre praktyki
we want to show good practice.
i chcemy pokazywać, jak należy się na wydmach właściwie zachować.
And we want to show how you should actually behave on dunes.
Czyli nie załatwiać swoich potrzeb bezpośrednio na wydmach.
So to not use them as a toilet.
Dlatego też w miejscach wybranych przez nas, w których jest najwięcej turystów w sezonie,
That's why in spots that we will choose where there are the most tourists,
postawimy przenośne toalety,
we'll build
Toilet.
toilets,
które będą również wyposażone w treści edukacyjne
and they are also going to include educational things
i tablice naprowadzające. To tu.
and some like boards.
Będzie fajny.
It's going to be cool.
To my.
And that's us.
6 osób,
6 people.
które są również na sali.
They're also here.
Bardzo dziękuję Wam, że zechcieliście wejść w tą współpracę.
Thank you so much that you decided to get into this cooperation.
Bardzo dziękuję za zaproszenie
Thank you for the invitation.
i trzymam za wszystkich kciuki.
And I keep my fingers
Dziękuję.
crossed for everyone.
Okay, any questions?
Thank you, Kasia. So the last speaker will be Słowiński National Park. Grzegorz.
Co może tutaj? No to mogę sobie do kieszeni na przykład. O. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for invitation for this conference. Great thanks for Magda and Kasia. Great efforts to write the projects and to collect people who want to cooperate for the better dunes condition. Słowiński National Park, the land of the water, wind and sand. This is our official call. Now, after Mr. Paul's presentation, now I know there should be also the plants and maybe birds. This is our official call. My name is Grzegorz Kupczak. I'm Chief Specialist for Nature Conservation, and I am also head of the Nature Conservation Department in Słowiński National Park. I will show you what we're gonna do, and it should be surprised that we are protected nature mainly. So this is our park boundaries. We are one of the 23 national parks in Poland and one of the 2 national parks protecting nature on the Baltic coast. The park area is 32,400 hectares. Our buffer zone is almost the same area, and we were established in 1967, so we have 58 years experience of protecting coastal ecosystems and protecting dunes. What is also interesting, Słowiński National Park is the only one national park in Poland whose name has ethnographic origin, because it came from ethnographic group called Słowińcy, who live in the area of the national park in the small villages, very the last homes and the open air museum in Kluki shows the heritage, the cultural heritage of our region. So the uniqueness of our park, nature, has gained international recognition. So in 1977 we became a biosphere reserve, and after after reform of the biosphere reserve, now we are core zone of the biosphere reserve. We are also Ramsar site, and in the park area we have 3 Natura 2000 areas, 2 focused on the birds protection and 1 focused on habitat protection. We are also part of HELCOM, and we are very important site for the bird. The main ecosystem of Słowiński National Park is sea, 34% lakes, also above 30% forests, 90% peat bogs and meadows, 30%, and dunes 3%. And as you can see, the most of the area of the park, there are mainly ecosystems related with water or water ecosystems. So the combination of water and land give us the very high biodiversity of ecosystem and species in our national park. This is our Łebska Spit, which separate the Baltic Sea, and here is the Baltic Sea, and here is the Łebsko Lake. Łebsko Lake is the 3rd one, biggest lake in Poland, and Łebska Spit stretching between mouth of Łupawa River on west and mouth of Łeba River on east. This is the sandy strip with the biggest dunes, one of the biggest one in Europe. And also we have some coastal lake, like as I said, Łebsko, Gardno, Długie Wielkie. Also we have part of the Garnieńsko-Łebska Valley. In the national park also we have frontal moraines hills with Rowoku, which has 115 meters above the sea level. When it comes to Natura 2000 dune habitats in our site Osteja Słowińska, we have humid dune slags, a wet depression between dunes, habitats 2190, and it's covered 85 hectares. And there are also habitats for some animals. This is the small frog living in the waters in the basins on the dunes. Also, we have embryonic shifting dunes, approx 8 hectares. White dunes 127 hectares grey dunes, 350 hectares, and forest on the coastal dunes, almost above 2,067 hectares. And in the national park, we are focused on protect the natural process, the whole process. We don't have any structures to protect the coastline, and we have in our park the accumulated areas, also as well the areas when sea destroying the dunes and the coast. Also, we have moving dunes, approx 300 hectares of naked sands that's moving on the Łebska Spit and bearing the forest and everything what is on its way. Some pictures about showing embryonic dunes and white dunes, and our very valuable species on the beaches like Honkenia, Salsola, Kakile maritima. Also vegetation on grey dunes, and our most important species, Linaria lozeli. Also, we sometimes call the brown dunes with the vegetation, with Empetrum nigrum, and the last stage of the succession is the forest, the pine forest on the dunes. Also we have some Pinus mugo on the dunes. Let's talk about dune fauna. We have this very nice area for wolves, and we don't have sandworms like in the Duna movies, but it will be very interesting to have some sandworms, especially for the tourists that cross the tourist path. And this is the other picture with some young wolves on the dunes. And what are the key issues when we consider the dunes protection? Of course, anthropogenic pressure like trampling, fragmentation, littering, lack of awareness, and that's all what you already said in the previous presentation. Here we have some paths on the dunes. The habitats are very fragmented, and here this is my collection during the finding during when we are on the dunes and we try to find Rosa rugosa on the dunes. Of course, we are very important and very popular tourist destination in Poland. We have very beautiful beaches and beautiful dunes, so we have many of tourists. And another issues, invasive alien species like Rosa rugosa on the dunes. Also, we have Salix daphnoides, and what we are going to do with in the project, we will try to remove invasive species from the Grey Dunes. Here is the area of the project, and here is a small town Rowe, which is also a very popular tourist destination. And what's interesting when it comes to littering on the dunes, here is the beach for nudists. So they came on the dunes and do everything that was said in the previous presentation, and it's quite far to have some toilet cabin in this area, and it's also it's important that it's illegal to be naked in the national park because it's the public place. So we'll try to figure it out, and maybe we have to raise awareness of the nude people on the dunes. It could be very interesting. The next part of our activities is there are educational activities aimed at local communities and tourists visiting the park in the form of events, as well as some workshop, information materials, and on-site infrastructure, like some borders on the billboards and other information to raise awareness of the people. And each year we organize the picnic for the families, and the picnic will be a great occasion to show the project and to educate people. The project team, me as a coordinator, I'm working 13 years in the national park, and I also conducted, I was a coordinator of the park protection plan, and I participated in several projects. Also we have Clara Parcheta as an environmental specialist. Unfortunately, she didn't come. She didn't have possibility to come here. And last but not least, we have coordinator for promotion and education, and it's Łukasz Fuglewicz, who is with me. And sorry, Łukasz is senior specialist for education. He's a nature educator, and he's good in this matter, and also national park, and Łukasz is an educational leader in the project. So this is also very important task in the project. Our experience in active nature protection, just a few examples. We conducted several projects, including 2 live projects focused on removing invasive animal species, improving habitats, raising the water on the peatland, also restoring water course of Łupawa River, and also we removed alien and invasive species manually by ourselves. And when it comes to the strategy of the alien species and invasive, as you can know, the alien plants are threat for native flora. They're causing competition and domination. also animals the same. So we in the park we doing some monitoring and we remove invasive plant species and we remove invasive animal species, and it's our task that we have to do. When it comes to Padocerotina, we cutting and grilling of the trunks, and then we cutting, and we also want to find some the most effective methods for the removing Padocerotina. But it's very nice, have very nice flowers and very nice fruits for birds and flowers for bees. So mentally and when it comes to local accept of these activities, so there is a lack of understanding why we are doing this. Another very nice species, Impatiens glandiflora. We have done the manual uprooting entire plants before the seeds formation, composting, and we do the monitoring, the observation of the composted plants, and it's a great threat for the Garno Lake shore, because Impatiens is mixed with common reed, and it's very hard to remove from them. When it comes to some also very nice animal, invasive, American mink, and we've done the project LIFE, protection of water and marsh birds in the protection of water and marsh birds in 5 national parks, restoration of habitats and reduction of impact of invasive species. And we capturing the American minks in the live traps, transporting to veterinary clinic, and we doing the euthanasia in the humanitarian way. And we spoke about what next after the project LIFE. So when you can see, the project was ended 10 years ago, and we still captured the American minks. And this is very important to aware that after the project LIFE, we have also some responsibilities, and we have to aware of this to keep the ecological effect of our activities. Active protection of native species. We carry out the active protection of birds inhabiting in the beach and dunes, and is very important species for us, also for the project. I tell you tomorrow why. Thanks to our efforts in the last 3 years, we have managed to increase the population of the ringed plover by 200%. And how we do this? This is the eggs of the birds, and here, and they are very hard to find on the beach, but it's easy to crush them by foot. It's easy to find the birds by dogs on the beach, and we provide some restriction and do some activities to to protect birds, we put the nest basket on the nest, on the eggs, and to protect the nesting and the birds from the people and from the animal that's destroying the eggs. And we have great cooperation with WWF Blue Patrol. Also, as you can see, the information and education is very important to show what it is and why it is on the beach, and to not getting closer to the birds. And yeah, and also we put some rings on the foots of the small bird, that we can monitor his life after our activities. So this is the end. Thank you very much. Any question? Thank you. Not?
Thank you, Grzegorz. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, of course.
Is it okay? Thank you. A really interesting presentation, as all of them are this afternoon. One thing that's come into my mind listening to your presentation and to some of the others is the reference to Prunus serratina, which is a big problem.
Yeah.
Before I say anything, just to refer you, there's been some very successful control work done on the Amsterdam Waterworks dunes in the Netherlands for Prunus serratina over many years. It's well worth getting in contact with them. But Prunus serratina was often introduced with pine plantations, as Prunus serratina reduces the fire risk in that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, with that on your site and maybe others, that you've got extensive 2180 habitats with wooded dunes. I presume that's Pinus sylvestris. You said there was some Pinus mugo. But what's the extent of that woodland that's anthropogenic rather than natural? I have one more general question after this, if you don't mind.
You mean from? Actually not, because in our park there was a military unit, and they use also Padus serratina to, I don't know, to stabilize the sand, because the military unit was on the dunes. And as I spoke with some retired troop who work on this military unit, they have a very high radiation from the radar, and Padus serratina survived the radiation, and only Padus serratina grow on the dunes and were heated by the radiation, and so also this is the gift, like the rose is also the gift from the maritime office or from the others that made their job. They had to stabilize the dunes, and they do this, and we have to say that Rosa rugosa is a very nice species to stabilize the dunes. Very good, and it's a very good job. Yeah.
So I hope you remember to say thank you to them. One other comment. I don't expect an answer to this, but it's come up time again about the nature of certain human activities in the dunes. using the dunes for open air defecation, urination. I think Magda put it very kindly, for romantic purposes. And also then you mentioned nudism. This is something that we've done some initial research on in the UK, but never been brave enough to publish it yet. I suggest that actually this is a significant issue for sand dune managers, that if you look in, some time ago I did a literature review on this and only found one paper from 1974 in an obscure Australian journal which addressed this, that when people go to the coast, they see it as a liminal space, a place that they can literally and metaphorically divest themselves of their normal activities and often their clothes. But the dune topography lends itself to this because of the dunes, and also if it's a spit, it's remote. I don't expect an answer, but I suggest actually that sand dune managers should not turn away from this. I involved some people who were tourism specialists and sociology people who were into social deviance, because it's a big problem, a big issue. I've managed nature reserves with this. You're managing one, right? And it's an issue. And I don't think that we've, one, researched it adequately, and two, published guidance on it. And there we go.
Thank you. Any more questions or comments, maybe? Regarding Grzegor's presentation, but just if you want to comment about anything that's been said today, here's the time. Okay, thank you then.
Thank you.
So that doesn't usually happen, to finish before the time. It's usually the other way around. We need to stay longer and longer. I guess this is the end for this part. I would just like to say that I haven't thought that I would be mentioned so many times, so thank you. But I'm really glad we are going to be cooperating in this team of partners and associated partners. And it was a nice time to prepare the project, to get to know you, so I know that it's going to be a great time to implement the project with you. We're going to meet at the restaurant. If anyone hasn't told us that they were coming, please consider, because it's going to be a nice time, nice evening. We're going to meet at the restaurant in Gdańsk. For now, this is the end. Please have a rest and see you in a few hours. Thank you.
Thank you.